Good afternoon and welcome to the Huck Recreational Ground here in Lower Hutt. For first 15 traditional action is St Bernard's College of Lower Hutt take on Hatu Polder College of Fielding from the Manawatu. Last year, this traditional Hatu Polder caused a massive upset, winning 47 points to 24 against St Bernard's College. This traditional started back in 1981 and Hatu Polder were the winners that day. They were winning 21 points to 12. Of course, the record between these two schools, St Bernard's has had 18 wins to Hatu Polder's 17. Of course, this game today has been played at the Hutt Recreational Ground, mainly because that the level 2 restriction require no crowds, and of course we cannot have students there on site. So we are at this beautiful number 1 ground here at the Hutt Recreational Ground. We're commentating from the bird's nest at the top of the Hutt Recreational Ground. It was a difficult assignment to get up here, but the weather conditions have improved remarkably. Early this morning it was pouring down with rain and awfully cold, but the weather has lifted, the sun is out, and we're playing on a beautiful track here. So hopefully we'll get some experience and fast rugby out here today. Let's have a look at the two sides, starting with the home team, St Bernard's College. La Shakan Lolo at fullback. The wings are Seta Malakai and Pahi Mateo. Kelly Tangawai Scott and Palanato Ane are the midfield. Jorgen Holmes Rogers is the first five. Halfback is Tana Rangawhetu. 8 is Jacob Laban. The flankers are Sam Mahi and Zach Tuita. The locks are Ben Waiwai and the hard-working TK Wainoa. The front row is William Eastham, Paul Pio and Nonu Tui. And the reserves are Regan Shaw, David Wheeler, Cyrus Crook, Khalifa Lelesau, Cullen Coyne, Theo Van Ooyen, Aleki Manueli, Dom Ernst and Jono Little. For Hatu Polder, fullback is Matariki Tibble. The wings are Petoru Kalani Porelane and Matangi Orupu Sword. The midfield is Kohi Horua and Paulie Emmanuel, the captain. First five is Morgan Stewart. The halfback is Wiramu Puna Leaks. 8 is Manahi Kachoing. 7 is Tamati Broughton. 6 is Wefitu Tamara. The locks are Tangaroa Wild Herbert and Jackson Maxwell Thompson. And the front row is Isaiah Edwards. Hooker is Ethan Edwards. And Manu Huia Bennett. And the reserves are Taiho Kerr, Korobo Morrison Winitana, Robert Wynyard, Cadence Bennett Yates, Faison Marshall, Dakota Ratana, Kortaiki Tereida Taylor, and Reihana Tepoki Hansen. Your officials today are Scott Mariner. He is our referee, and his reserves at the moment is Rex Ward. The other assistant referee has not shown. St Bernard's College are out on the field in a huddle, waiting for the visiting team to enter the field. St Bernard's, of course, have had a better season than they did last year in the Premier 1. They won no games last year. They finished bottom of the Premier 1 in Wellington. This season, they are currently sitting in fourth place. They had a big upset win against Wellington College. They won 26-20 that day. But last Saturday over in the Wairarapa, they had an upset loss to Wairarapa College, losing that game 19 points to 15. So they'll be looking to bounce back here against Hatu Polder College. Hatu Polder, of course, they recently played Cullinane College and lost 27 points to 20 in their traditional. They also beat Tiatu College 39 points to 5 and lost to St John's 27 points to 14. And also they lost to Rathkill in their other traditional 31 points to 5 as Hatu Polder are led out onto the field. In their blue and red striped shirts. If you ever get the opportunity to go to Hatu Polder College, it is a fantastic place to go to. I spent a week there in 2014 as part of the Marist Youth Leader Program, the Marist Fathers Schools, and their hospitality is amazing. If you want to know how to sing and learn how to do the haka, Hatu Polder show you how to do it. It is a fantastic school. As we now prepare for the huckers. The challenge has been set for first 15 action as St Bernard's College take on Hato Paora here at the Hack Recreational Ground. St Bernard's College founded in 1946 and Hato Paora founded in 1947. St Bernard's Marist brothers and Hato Paora Marist fathers. Unlike a normal game where we have only 22 players in the team, today the teams are having 23 to 24 players, allowing for that opportunity for players to have a bit of a run around that they usually wouldn't. This game, of course, was supposed to be played 3 weeks ago. However, due to the lockdown levels, particularly in Auckland, the game was postponed. But we finally have this traditional on the line. Can St Bernard's win back the traditional trophy? Of course, there was no trophy in this traditional until last year, but this traditional first played in 1981. Cody Holder with the ball. Hato Paora kicking north towards the Huiapu end of the Huck Recreational Ground, and we're underway as Kelly Tangawai Scott has the ball, and he charges up, but he's met in a good tackle there by first five Morgan Stewart. Tangaranga Fetu, the captain for today's game, playing at halfback, goes for the box kick. And he chips it high up in the air as Hato Paora look to get the options. They knock it back, but it's come loose. And here goes Pelanatu Arnai, but unfortunately the ball has been knocked on as he went to grab the ball. So early on, we are seeing a tactic from St Bernard's where they are trying to exploit Hato Paora in the air. And so we have our first scrum of this traditional match. On the 15-metre mark, 5 metres inside St Bernard's half. Hato Paora to feed the ball. Puna Leaks is the halfback. The loose forwards for Hato Paora have had a strong season. Manahi Kachoing, Tamati Broughton and Wefetu Tamara have had a strong season. Broughton, of course, his father, Norm Broughton, is a legend when it comes to Wellington rugby, in particular of his time at Marist St Pat's. He's been heavily involved with the Marist St Pat's Rugby Club, but he's also been heavily involved with all the work done at Hato Paora College. Scrum was reset as the ball would come straight out of the tunnel. Leaks feeds the scrum. The ball's loose, and Rangawhetu wraps him up in a good tackle. He manages to just fall off his feet, but no, Hato Paora have been penalised. Referee Mariner deemed that Rangawhetu was on his feet long enough, so the first penalty of this traditional is for holding on. Rangawhetu kicks for touch, and that ball has drifted pretty much just on the 22-metre line, or just inside, as assistant referee Rex Ward has noted. St Bernard's College, Don Dugan is their most famous All Black. He played 4 tests for the All Blacks in the 70s. Wanoa has knocked the ball on in the line out, so it's come loose. Referee Mariner is allowing play to continue. But he comes back for the knock-on. Dugan himself played 4 tests for the All Blacks. Passed away a few years ago. Some famous old boys, of course, for Hato Paora College. Hayden Triggs, of course, had played for the local club Petone here in Wellington and also for the Lions and managed a few games for the Hurricanes. Shannon Paku, the Wellington rugby legend, also played for the Hurricanes. And O'Terry Black. Now, O'Terry Black is a product of Hato Paora College. He, of course, was part of the Hurricanes for a few years as a backup to Bowden Barrett. He plays for the Manitou Turbos. In the last 2 seasons, he has played for the Blues up in Auckland. And despite the fact that Bowden Barrett moved up to the Blues this season, he actually managed to get a number of games in the first 5 jersey and played extremely well in the Blues lineup. So, O'Terry Black, of course, a legend in himself in Māori rugby. Now, both coaches for Hato Paora, Dan Harper, of course, played for New Zealand secondary schools alongside Norm Broughton. Dan himself was at Waihirapu College, and Norm, of course, played for New Zealand schoolboys in 1990. Hato Paora feed the scrum. It's a strong scrum by Hato Paora, but the ball was quite slow coming out of the back, and Rangawhetu nearly got another turnover there. It looks as though St Bernard's have got the turnover. That they have. Rangawhetu gives out to Wanoa. Wanoa gets around one. He's tackled around the ankles by another. St Bernard's. Jacob Laban. Jacob Laban has had a strong season. Of course, he has signed with the Junior Warriors. That happened last year. Eastham. Eastham, having returned from shoulder injury only a few weeks ago, manages to rumble up 5 metres. St Bernard's hot on attack here. Rangawhetu reaches out for the line, but he's just short. And over the line goes Nono Tuia! Nono Tuia scores the first try of this traditional. 5-0. St Bernard's College with the kick to come. Well, that was excellent turnover by St Bernard's at the breakdown. And key there is the fast-moving action of Tana Rangawhetu, getting the ball out quickly. And Eastham with the good drive. He's a hard man to stop, particularly inside the 22. And Nonu Tuia dives over to score the first try of this traditional. Nonu Tuia, year 13 at St Bernard's College. He's also played for the Wellington under-16s. Relatively easy conversion for Rangawhetu, and so St Bernard's move out to a 7-0 lead over Hato Paora College. Now here's a story about Hato Paora College. In 1985, they had a traditional against St Stephen's from Auckland, the school where Dallas Seymour played for. And of course that year they won the national top 4 title. They had one loss that year, and that was to Hato Paora College. They turned up well and truly overly confident they would beat Hato Paora College, and they claimed that they were going to sweep their driveway that day. Well, what actually happened was Hato Paora caused an upset, winning 15 points to 13, and at the aftermatch, Hato Paora presented St Stephen's with a broomstick, where players back underway. Hato Paora, 5 metres inside St Bernard's half. They'll be looking to bounce back after that early try. St Bernard's penalised for offside, rushing up too early. So Hato Paora with a bit of breathing space here. Paulie Emmanuel, the captain for the side today, is to find touch. Emmanuel has also played for Cullinane College in Wanganui and Whangarei Boys High School. So he's played for 3 different first 15s. Hato Paora with a line out, a metre outside St Bernard's 22. On the artificial turf side here of the Hut Recreational Ground, home of the Huddle Boys Marist Eagles, who of course in the Swindell Shield last week caused an upset win, beating the highly fancied Old Boys University. Good take there by Wild Herbert in the line out as the ball has come loose from Chicoine, and St Bernard's win the ball back from that knock on. Tangawai Scott offloads it to Lashakan Lolo, but the referee has blown play up. And it'll be a St Bernard scrum, centre field, 10 metres outside their own 22. This coverage is brought to you by Huddy Sports. And this season we have been in partnership with the Sideline app. The Sideline app bring you all sorts of different high school and different codes around the country. Of course, they officially broadcast all the Super 8 games. And we've also run a few first 15 games here in Wellington. Of course, St Bernard's versus St Pat's Silverstream was one of those games, as St Bernard's have knocked the ball on at their own scrums. So Hato Paora will have the scrums feed directly where the previous scrum was. Hato Paora. Leaks feeds the scrum. Coin off the back. He's made some good metres there. He's rumbled up about 15 metres and well inside St. Bernard's 22. Leeks gives the ball out to Isaiah Edwards. Good tackle there by Ben Waiwai. Advantage being played as Waiwai is unfortunately tackling the halfback who still had possession of the ball. Manu at fullback. Oh, halfback, sorry. Good patient build-up by Hato. Edwards with the good drive. Referee Mariner has come back for the early infringement by Ben Waiwai. And so an opportunity here for Hato to get some points on the board. However, they decide to go for the line. It's fantastic to have the Hato community watching this game today. And also the students of St. Bernard's College back in their classrooms. Hopefully they're learning well. Good line out take for Hato as Tamara is bundled into touch. So trying to exploit that blind side of the maul there. But unfortunately, there'll be a St. Bernard's line out. Paul Pio to throw the ball in, year 11 at St. Bernard's College. However, referee, we thought it was not straight up here, but however, the referee is allowed play on. Interesting stat about Hato is that 15 of the 23 players playing today are all back in 2021. So some good depth for the future. Hato with the ball. Surveying their options. Leeks gives it out to Bennett. Centre field, a metre outside the 10 metre mark. Penalty advantage being played. Tamara made on a good tackle by Tangawai Scott and Zach Tuita. Laban, well, that time there he couldn't bring down Isaiah Edwards, and Isaiah Edwards got around 3 tacklers there. Leeks out to Stewart, and Stewart's kick is charged down, but will come back for the penalty for not rolling away at the breakdown. Seven points to 0. There's Hato. Point to the posts. So this is a kick directly in front of the posts. 9 metres inside St. Bernard's half. Morgan Stewart to take this penalty attempt. Stewart strikes. Has it got the distance? It does, but it's drifted away to the right-hand side of the post. So the score remains 7 points to 0. 14 minutes gone here in this first 15 traditional between St. Bernard's College and Hato College. Players back underway. Hato back to where the penalty kick was taken. Leeks, it's a high pass. Out to Maxwell Thompson, but he's done well. Broughton, he's a hard man to bring down. So he's got Eastham and Tuita trying to bring him down. And he's managed to rumble up and gain roughly 10 metres. Leaks. Gives it out to Stewart. Stewart out to Emmanuel. But his kick is charged down, and here goes Kelly Tangawai-Scott. Can he hang on to the ball? He does. And he is brought down 2 metres short of the 22 on the artificial turf side here of the Hutt Recreational Ground. Ball comes out to Nonu Tuia. Tuia with the drive as he rumbles over the 22. Rangawhetu. Rangawhetu out to Holmes Rogers. Kelly Tangawai-Scott with the offload. It's been knocked back by Paul Pio. And St Bernard's are still in position. Holmes Rogers out to Wanoa. Eastham with the break. Eastham, can he go all the way? Has he scored? No, he's been penalised for placing the ball after it had been tackled. But what a good break there by William Eastham. He really has started this game well. But unfortunately that time he was penalised for double movement. That's a bit of a rugby league terminology there. Hato with the ball. And they will have a line out. 2 metres outside their own 22. On the artificial turf side here of the Hutt Recreational Ground. 7 points to 0. 15 minutes gone. Hato win the line out as they go through their back line. Tamada brought down a metre outside their own 22, centre field. Ball goes back to Stewart. Stewart kicks downfield. And that has actually worked out pretty well for Hatupolda College. That time there, Pahi Mateo was unable to control the ball. And he knocked it back into touch. And so it'll be a Hatupolda line out. A metre inside St Bernard's half. This coverage brought to you by Huddy Sports in partnership with the Sideline app. Bringing you this first 15 traditional. Free kick against Hatupolda. There's St Bernard's tap it quickly. Tuita centre field. He gets round one, but he's been brought down by Broughton on the 10 metre mark. Rangawhetu, light on his feet. Tries to get round Epwoods there, but he was dragged down. Tangawai-Scott playing halfback. Holmes Rogers out to Wanoa. Wanoa met on a good tackle by Tamada. The Hatupolda defence is holding up well. Holmes Rogers out to Ane. St Bernard's finding it difficult to get past this 10 metre line of Hatupolda. Good defence. Waiwai wrapped up in a strong tackle. Holmes Rogers gives it out to Lashikan Lolo, playing the 15 jersey today. Lashikan Lolo is a year 13 student at St Bernard's. It's his first season in the first 15. Has a background playing rugby league. Paul Pio out to Sam Mahey. But the pass is loose out to Pahi Mateo. And the ball has been kicked into touch. So it'll still be a St Bernard's line out, 2 metres inside their own half. Next week, Hatupolda playing a virtual semi-final against Horowhenua Combined College's team. And the winner of that match will play Manakuta College in the final on September the 12th as Hatupolda College are penalised for offside. Also on Huddy Sports today is live audio of the Palmerston North Boys High School versus St Pat's Silverstream traditional up there in Palmerston North. Adam Julian, our fellow Huddy Sports commentator, is bringing you that coverage. St Bernard's in position. Wanoa. Made a good tackle by Broughton. Rangawhetu. Oh, it's almost been intercepted by Isaiah Edwards. Unfortunate for St. Bernard's, he knocked the ball on. So that was an opportunity there for Hato College. Been very impressed with the Hato College defence today. Despite leaking that early try, their loose forwards have done a fantastic job, particularly around the fringes. St. Bernard's College also have produced a number of athletes over the years, not only just in rugby union, but they have in rugby league. Ben Matalino, who used to play for the New Zealand Warriors, ended up going to the West Tigers a few years ago. He is an old boy of St. Bernard's College. Good scrum, but St. Bernard's managed to get the ball out. Mateo out to Tangawai Scott. Tangawai Scott finds a gap. He's still going towards the 22. He's a hard man to bring down. The big 16 jersey. It's because jersey number 12 doesn't fit him. Rangawhetu offloads it to Tuita. Tuita gives it out to Malachi, but unfortunately Malachi can't hold on, but they're still in possession of the ball. 5 metres out from the try line. Jacob Laban. Identifiable by that Aaron Bird haircut. Holmes Rogers out to Mateo. The pass is high. He manages to hang on to it, but he's been wrapped up in an excellent tackle by number 2, Ethan Edwards. Rangawhetu out to Sam Mahey. Sam Mahey, at the start of the season, was out with shoulder issues. He's come back well as 1-0 with the break. However, the referee didn't play advantage. There's Hato College are penalised. St. Bernard's was options here. Will they go for the points? Will they put a scrum down, or will they kick for the line out? They decide to tap. Tangawai Scott. Nonu Tuia with the drive. 5 metres out. Rangawhetu out to YY. Mahey catches the high pass. He gives it out to Lashakan Lolo, and he sails in to score the second try of this first 15 traditional. 12 points to 0. St. Bernard's College over Hato College with the conversion to come. Well, that was excellent work there by St. Bernard's. They turned down the opportunity for points, or putting the scrum down to the line out. They decided to tap the ball and have a bit of fun. And La Shakan sailed in to score the second try of this traditional fixture. Conversion successful. 14 points to 0. St. Bernard's College over Hato College. 22 minutes gone here at the Hut Recreational Ground. The assistant coach for Hato College is Regan Sword. Now, Regan is an old boy of the college. He was a prefect there. And for 2 years after finishing school, he played for Marist St. Pat's and was starting halfback for a number of games for the Scarlets as play gets back underway. Laban charges up. Rangawhetu runs into YY. Holmes Rogers skips the pass out to Arnai, but the ball was rumbled into touch. And so it will be a Hato line out. 10 metres past St. Bernard's 10 metre line. Hatupolda in the first half, playing towards the Queensgate end of the Hutt Recreational Ground. Line out lost as St Bernard's have possession of the ball. Rangawhetu passes the ball into the 22. YY rushes over the 22. He gains 5 metres. Rangawhetu with the box kick. It's a good take by number 11, Sword. That is the brother of assistant coach Regan Sword. Hatupolda through the back line. It's a high pass out to Tangaroa Wild Herbert. He's a hard man to bring down as Nathaniel Malachi involved in the tackle there. Good charge by Maxwell Thompson. Ball has come loose. And good turnover by St Bernard's College, but side entry is the call from referee Mariner against St Bernard's College. So Hatupolda with the penalty. As the rain has arrived back here. Not as heavy as it was this morning. Hatupolda line out. 15 metres away from St Bernard's try line on the grandstand touch line. This coverage brought to you with Huddy Sports and the Sideline app. Hatupolda with the good line out take. Patience is needed. Chicoine rumbles up. He gains 2 metres. Advantage has been played as Sam Mayhe has been caught for, Timothy Broughton. Well, he could end up in the circus with that jump. That was incredible. Jumped over the breakdown to protect the ball, showing his great athletic skills. Hatupolda line out. 5 metres out from St Bernard's try line. Good line out take. But Nonu Tuia in there to disrupt. Still in possession for Hatupolda. Bennett with the charge. Laban Rangawhetu. Excellent defence. This is great play by Hatupolda College, but unfortunately, the ball has been knocked on. So St Bernard's will have the scrum. The 5 metre mark. 10 metres grandstand touchline. 28 minutes gone, 14 points to 0. St Bernard's in the lead. Rangawhetu feeds the scrum. Pass out to Kelly Tangawai Scott. It's a good tackle by Manuel and Broughton. Those two have well and truly stood out for Hatupolda College today. It's a high box kick by Rangawhetu. And St Bernard's penalised for offside as they do not retreat past the original kicker. As Manuel finds options, he gives it out to Holder. The ball comes out onto the wing. That is Sword. Can they run him over the line? They're a metre short. Can Hato score their first try of this traditional? Good charge by Tamata. A metre short stool. They've been very good with the ball in hand and very patient, Hato. Advantage being played. St Bernard's have to be careful inside this zone. Hot on attack. Ball comes out to the back line. Emmanuel. Skip pass over the top of Holder out to Stewart, but referee Mariner comes back for the penalty. Offside is the call as he calls time off. As he gives a warning to Tana Rangawhetu as the captain of the team. St Bernard's just have to be careful. It's now the second penalty inside this area of the field. And in refereeing terms, they call this the red zone. When a team is under pressure and another team is hot on attack and you're quite close to the try line inside the 22. This is where certain cynical players can take place. So teams have to be very careful, particularly on defence. Woodamoo leaks to feed the scrum. Forchi blowing up. It was unstable. 30 minutes gone here at the Hato Recreational Ground. 14 points to 0. St Bernard's over Hato College. Off the back goes Chikoin, and he scores the first try for Hato College. 14 points to 5 with the kick to come. Now that was fantastic from Hato College. A solid scrum, patient in hand. And Manahi Chikoin off the back in the number 8 jersey sails over and scores the first try for Hato College. Excellent patience. And key to that is their loose forwards. They've been instrumental on defence in keeping Hato in play in this traditional. 14 points to 5. Dan Harper and Norm Broughton have done excellent work. This Hato first 15. The conversion attempt is unsuccessful by Stewart, so the score remains 14 points to 5. 32 minutes gone. 3 minutes left in this first half. It's been a good contest so far. Played on an immaculate field here at the Hato Recreational Ground. It had a major revamp just prior to the 2011 Rugby World Cup. This was one of the home training bases for, I think from memory, it might have been Tonga back in 2011. And it's been home to a few Jubilee Cup finals, club finals over the years as play gets back underway. Wild Herbert with the ball. His restarts today have been very impressive. Leaks back out to Emmanuel, and he kicks cross field, but Pahi Mateo's there to get the ball. It's Tangawai Scott offloads it to Mahi. Centre fielder St Bernard's, 12 metres inside Hato half. Holmes Rogers out to Nonu Tuia. Good charge by Nonu Tuia. But this Hato Paora defence is holding up very well. Wānua. Good tackle by Broughton. But Wānua is still going as he marches over the 22. A metre inside. Tangawa Scott gives it out to Holmes Rogers. Holmes Rogers. Good hit there by Tamara on Rogers. Rangawhetu looking for options. The defence from Hato Paora College has improved as the game has got on, and it's been rather impressive. Easton with the break. He offloads the ball and it's been turned over, has it? No, there's advantage being played. It's a penalty advantage. But the ball has come loose, and referee Mariner comes back for the penalty for offside. With time almost up on the clock. You'd think St. Bernard's might have gone for the penalty kick, but no, they have decided to go for the scrum. Sensing that they can return the favour on Hato Paora College and get themselves a try off their scrum. But it's right, smack bang centre field on the 22. Heading towards the Bellevue Gardens end of the Hut Rec. That's assistant coach Hayden Moritz's favourite place. Wow, excellent work by Hato Paora College as St. Bernard's have knocked the ball on. And that is half-time. 14 points to 5, St. Bernard's ahead. But Hato Paora College really in the last 15 minutes of this first half have really stood up and impressed. And just reward for their try before. And so they are still in the hunt as they look to retain the trophy that they won against St. Bernard's last year. 14 points to 5. We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Hut Recreational Ground for the second half. St Bernard's College taking on Hato College from Fielding in this first 15 traditional. Hato College, looking to retain the trophy that came into existence last year for the first time. They won that match 47 points to 24. St Bernard's looking to win the trophy for the first time. Now this traditional has been playing since 1981, but it was only last year that a trophy came into existence. The score, 14 points to 5. This coverage brought to you by Huddy Sports in partnership with the Sideline app. Also on Huddy Sports we have live audio of St Pat's Silverstream versus Palmerston North Boys High School, and the score on that game at present is 5 points to 3 as St Bernard's get us back underway here as the ball is kicked into the 22 and Isaiah Edwards with a good take. Any changes that we have, we'll read those out to you as the game progresses. As Hato College rumble the ball forward. Leaks gives the ball out to Emmanuel. And he kicks downfield and Rangawhetu is there. 5 metres inside his own half. Ball comes out to the back line. Lasha Kanlolo looks for Aleki Manueli is on the field. In jersey number 11. Rangawhetu out to Holmes Rogers. Holmes Rogers with a crossfield kick. He's exploited some good pastures out there, but the ball may roll a bit too far. But the defence has rushed up. And so the ball's been grounded, so it'll be a dropout on the 22. Good play by St Bernard's, in particular Jorgen Holmes Rogers. His brother Jason Love attended St Pat's Silverstream at the same time as this commentator, and his brother has played over 200 games for the Wainuiomata Rugby Club. His father, Yogi, of course, has played even more games for Wainuiomata. He is a club legend, Yogi Rogers, and he's involved with the under-15 program at St Bernard's College. Rangawhetu out to Holmes Rogers. Nonu Tui offloads it to Wanoa. Centre field. 2 metres away from the 10-metre mark, and the ball has been knocked on by St Bernard's. So the Hatupolta defence, which in the last 15 minutes improved remarkably, continues to be a menace for St Bernard's. Hatupolta scrum. Centre field, 5 metres inside their own half. Leaks feeds. Ball comes out to Manuel. Manuel gives it out to Hohua. Jacob Blaven holds him up. As St Bernard's look to earn the turnover, and they do so. Excellent work by Jacob Blaven in the 8 jersey for St Bernard's. Rangawhetu with the box kick. John Alitu's on the field in jersey 22. Oh, the ball's come loose. Has he scored? He has! Well, a mistake by Hatupolta College inside their own in goal. And John Alitu in jersey 22, who has just returned from injury. He missed the last 2 games for St Bernard's. He comes back on the field today and scores the first try of the second half. $19 points to 5 with the conversion to come. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Now, unusual for most first 15 games, but both teams have agreed to have a squad of 23 to 24 players today. Rangawhetu strikes. A successful conversion. 21 points to 5. St Bernard's in the lead. Now, Hatupolta College have 2 more traditionals this year. They have to play against the highly fancied Wanganui Collegiate, who are doing very well in the Central North Island Championship. That is the rival competition to the Super 8. And also they have to play Mana College. Now, Mana College are also in the Premier 1 competition here in Wellington, and St Bernard's played them and won 33 points to 18 that day. Mana sitting 10th in the Wellington competition. As players back underway, and John O'Little, the try scorer, successful with the restart. Slow ball. Rangawhitu box kicks, but excellent work there by Tamata. But referee Mariner has spotted a knock on, and so St Bernard's will have the scrum. Referee Scott Mariner is a level 2 referee in Wellington. Mostly referees Premier Reserve matches. He's a plumber by trade. And an all-round good bloke. And he has done a fine job here controlling this first 15 traditional. We're always in need of referees, so if you are wishing to become a referee, it's a challenging job, but it also is an exciting position to be out there in the middle. You can ring 0800 referee. Reset scrum here at the Hut Recreational Ground. 21 points to 5. 5 minutes gone. Ball is fed, and this is a strong scrum by Hato College. As they look to turn it, and they have. Excellent work. And here's a good break here by number 17, Winitana, as Hato College into the 22. Isaiah Edwards with the charge. The St Bernard's have been penalised. It's now the third time they have been penalised inside their own 22, St Bernard's, so they've got to be careful. Paulie Emmanuel, the captain of the side, kicks for touch. And it will be a Hatapolda line out, 10 metres from the try line. Ethan Edwards, playing hooker today, looks to feed the line out. It's a good take by Broughton. And he offloads the ball out to Edwards. He has to tidy up. Ball comes out to the breakout player before Winitana. Isaiah Edwards wrestling past around Jacob Laban, Sam Mahey. Unfortunately, the ball has been knocked on, so St Bernard's will have the scrum feed. Now, Hatupolda College is a Catholic boarding school. Its current roll is 113 students. It has got one of the most beautiful chapels you'll ever see. And it's a fantastic place. The hospitality there is amazing. Now, Zach Tuita can't control the ball, and he has knocked it on. So Hatupolda College have the scrum feed, 2 metres away from St Bernard's try line. Conditions, well, despite the brief bit of rain before, it's been relatively calm here at the Hut Recreational Ground. Ball is loose. As Winitana is held up and a good tackle by Little. Little making himself known on the field. Advantage being played. St Bernard's have to be very careful now. Hatupolda agree to take a quick tap, and they give the ball out to number 17 again, Winitana. for the game, as coach has said, he does make a good impact. He also play a loose forward role as too, and you have seen that now. He really has come on to the field and made a massive impact on the St Bernard's defence. But unfortunately, this time they have knocked the ball on, so St Bernard's will have a scrum on the 15 by 5, 5 metres out from their try line. This coverage brought to you by Huddy Sports in partnership with the Sideline app, bringing you first 15 games in the Wellington region. Last weekend we brought you Silverstream and Rongotai. Well, that was a very one-sided affair. Silverstream won that game 66 points to 0 as Rangawhetu tries to skitter around the Hatupolta defence, but unfortunately he found touch. And so Hatupolta will have the line out, 10 metres away from St Bernard's try line on the artificial turf touch line of the Hut recreational ground. St Bernard's win the line out. Go through their phases as Rangawhetu box kicks. And it's a good take at the back by Hatupolta College. Ball comes out to number 11, Sword. And he's brought down on a tackle on halfway. The willing contest at the breakdown as St Bernard's earned the turnover, and Rangawhetu box kicks again. John Little chasing after it, but he knocks it on. As he appeals to say he didn't knock it on, as he knocks the ball away, and so Hatupolta will have the scrum. 10 metres outside their own 22, 5 metres in from touch. Scrum freed for Hatupolta. Strong St Bernard scrum. Ball comes off the back from Winitana. Comes out to Emmanuel, who kicks downfield, straight down the St Bernard's backline. That was Nathaniel Malachi who got the kick there. Here's Aleki Manueli. He's light on his feet. He gives a high pass out to his fellow midfield partner, Palanato Arnaud, but he can't control it. And so there's option here for Hatupolta College. The ball did get knocked on and bundled into touch, but they do have options here under the law. They can have the line out, or they do have the option of having the scrum. And so Hatupolta College have gone for the scrum, the place of infringement. Hatupolta scrum. On halfway. Leaks feeds. St Bernard's look to turn. Winatana gets it off. Emmanuel offloads it to Tamara. Leaks out to Bennett. Bennett gives it off to Isaiah Edwards. He's wrapped up in a tackle by Ben Waiwai. Emmanuel gets round one. Tries to get round the tackle, Zach Tuita. But he's been brought to ground. Hatupolta still trying to get past halfway. That's a good brush off by number 8, Jacoin, the try scorer from the first half. The ball's been knocked on, but referee Mariner has pinged St Bernard's for offside again. Getting caught for rushing up too early. Paulie Emmanuel finds touch. 10 metres out of St Bernard's 22 on the artificial turf touch line here at the Hut Recreational Ground. 21 points to 5 is the score. 14 minutes gone in this first 15 traditional. St Bernard's looking to win back the trophy. Hato Paora won the trophy last year, the first time a trophy was put on the line. Hato Paora win today will equal up the series 18-all in the traditional fixtures between these two colleges. Hato Paora go through their backline. Here's Tibble. Tibble, he gives it out to Sword. Sword advances over the 22. Good passage to play here by Hato Paora College. Here's the impact man, Winitana, but he's been wrapped up in a good tackle by Jacob Laban. Jacob Laban's been solid on defence today. Leaks. Out to Manuel. Hato Paora have the ball centre field. But this time they have been penalised for holding on. John O'Little with the turnover. So a good series of phases there for Hato Paora College, but that time they didn't have enough support players and John O'Little was able to go over the top of the ball and earn St Bernard's a turnover. Jersey 17 is on the field, David Wheeler. He's a second year in the St Bernard's first 15. Year 13 at the college too. St Bernard's line out. Goes straight over the top. But a penalty against Hato Paora College for offside at the line out. The back line were rushing up too quickly. And so St Bernard's kick for touch. And they will have a line out. 5 metres inside Hato Paora's half. 16 minutes gone. 21 points to 5. St Bernard's ahead. Paul Pio to throw the line out ball. Throws the ball, but excellent work by Tamati Broughton. But referee Mariner has free kicked Hato Paora for lifting early in the line out. So St Bernard's will have the scrum on the 15 metre mark. 5 metres inside Hato Paora's 22. St Bernard's scrum. Tana Rangawhetu to feed the ball. It's a strong scrum by St Bernard's. Laban at the back. Rangawhetu gives it off to Holmes Rogers. Holmes Rogers skips past Coyne. Ball comes out to Lashakan Lolo. Tidying up his Palanato Ane in the 13 jersey. He's been racked up in a good tackle by Stewart. Tuita. Tarita tries to get round Broughton. He brings him down 2 metres inside. Hato Paora's 22. Little. Out to Tuia. Paul Pio offloads it out to Callum Coyne. Can Callum Coyne score? He has. So St Bernard strike. 26 points to 5. Conversion to come. So that yet again was another try off a scrum movement by St Bernard's. Little bit of fumbling in the back line, but John O'Little with the good pass, skipping over the top out to Callum Coyne, and Callum Coyne, year 12 student in his second year in the first 15, scores St Bernard's his second try of the second half. Tana Rangawhetu with probably his most difficult kick of the day. Right on the far touchline. 0.5 metres away from the 22. He strikes. It's got the distance. But it has sailed away. So the score remains 26 points to 5. 18.5 minutes gone in the second half. Theo Van Ooyen has come onto the field and, well, he's not rearing a number. despite the fact on the program he is down as jersey 23. So obviously they don't have enough jerseys with jersey 23 on them. Play restarts. Zach Tuita with the ball. He is bet by number 8, Manahi Chacoin, as they rumble forward past their own 10-metre mark. Van Ooyen, box kick, now playing half-back. Back there is Tibble. Easy take as he gets past Emanuele, and he offloads it out to Sword. Hatopolda, centre field. 10 metres outside their own 22. It's been turned over. Here's David Wheeler with the ball. He's made a good tackle by Winitana. Laban out to Ane. Ane finds a gap. He's got options. He's got Lashakan Lolo, who'll go in and score his second try. The third try of the second half. 31 points to 5. Now that came off a good charge from David Wheeler. Got the ball out to Jacob Laban, who found Aleki Manueli, who passed it out to Lashakan Lolo, who sailed into the corner to score his second try. 31 points to 5. Kelly Tangawai Scott is going to take the conversion attempt. So Tana Rangawhetu having a bit of a break. Tangawai Scott. He strikes. It's got a good boot on him, but it's sailed to the left-hand side of the posts, and so the score remains 31 points to 5. St. Bernard's College ahead of Hatupolda. Some other substitutions for St. Bernard's. Cyrus Crook is on the field, and Dom Ernst is on the field as well. Dom Ernst, who weighs 59 kgs. It's a utility back for the first 15. It's in his first year. Hatupolda to restart play. It's a high kick just over the 10 metre mark. Nonu Tuia tries to take it, but it's been knocked on as Hatupolda on attack. They've just had 2 quick tries scored against them, so they'll be looking to bounce back and get some confidence back in their play. Winitana brought down. Ball comes out to Chacoin. He's been a good, hard-working flanker today and earned the rewards by scoring the try in the first half. St. Bernard's with the turnover. Lashakan chips it over the top. And the Hatupolda players wrapped up in good defence by St. Bernard's. And that is good defence as they've been penalised for holding on. Jersey 21 for Hatupolda College is on the field. That is Dakota Ratana. St. Bernard's line out on the 22 on the artificial field touchline of the Hutt Recreational Ground. It's been a pleasure to bring you this coverage today. Hardy Sports in partnership with the Sideline app. Sideline app, a great organisation. They bring you a lot of first 15 action. They bring you all the Super 8 games as well. You can watch all the rugby you want on the Sideline app for $10 a month. St. Bernard's, well, that time Jorgen Holmes Rogers makes his first mistake of the match. Bit of an easy fumble, and so Hatupolda College will have the scrum feed. Also on Huddy Sports at the same time as this game is live audio of Palmerston North Boys High School versus St. Pat's Silverstream and their traditional. regular Huddy Sports commentator Adam Julian is calling that game. Hato Paora, Marshall on the field, gives the ball out, and the ball's been kicked forward to Dom Ernst, who gives it out to Jacob Laban. Lasha Kanlolo finds Aleki Manuele. Aleki Manuele gets past one, he gets past two, gets past three. He's been brought down by the fourth Hato Paora player. Van Ooyen reaching into the breakdown. High pass out to Holmes Rogers. John O'Little, centre field, but he has knocked the ball on. Hato Paora back in possession. You have to give it to Hato Paora College. They haven't given up. They've really put in the hard yakka. And their defence has been, despite the fact they are 31 points to 5 down, their defence has been pretty good. As St Bernard's are penalised for offside again. There'll be a area in the game plan for Kent Harris, the coach of the first 15, to work on as they play St Pat's Town this Saturday at Evans Bay Park at 2:30 p.m. St Pat's Town coming off a loss to Scots College last weekend, 15 points to 10. It's 3 versus 4 on the Wellington Premiership table, the Transit Coach Lines competition. Line out take by Hato Paora is successful as they rumble forward 10 metres past St Bernard's 10 metre mark. Here's Winnie Tana. He's been brought down by Jacob Laban. Marshall playing halfback. He gives it out to Paulie Emmanuel, who looks for options. Oh, that is a good option taken as he nearly gets the ball. And here's Dom Ernst. Dom Ernst always been wrapped up in a good tackle. Van Ooyen out to Emanuele. Emanuele kicks through, kicks it again. Can he get his own ball back? That time he's unsuccessful. His sword is wrapped up in the ball. Coyne tries to come through for the side. It's unsuccessful. Marshall out to Stewart. Stewart gives out to Tamata, the other hard-working flanker for Hato Paora College today. Sword tries to find a gap. He's been brought down by Van Ooyen. Marshall out to Emmanuel. And that's a good hard tackling drive there on number 6, Tamata by Little and Wanoa. TK Wanoa has had a strong game today. Ball kicked downfield. St Bernard's back in position. Holmes Rogers tries to find open pasture. And the ball has bounced into touch. So that is a successful kick for Jorgen Holmes Rogers. So Hato Paora will have a line out 5 metres outside their own 22 on the artificial turf touchline here at the Hut Recreational Ground. 31 points to 5 is the score. 28 minutes gone in the second half. Ball's been charged down by John O'Little. And he's wrapped up the Hato Paora player. This could be a turnover for St Bernard's if they hold him up. Ball's come out for St Bernard's. Jersey 18, Cyrus Crook charges forward. Can he rumble over the try line? They're a metre short, St Bernard's. David Wheeler involved in the tackle. John O'Little in support. Here we go. Have they got over the line? No, it's been held up, so referee Mariner will call a scrum. 5 metres from Hato Paora's goal try line. 17 metres in from touch on the artificial turf touch line. It's been a contest played in good passion. Excellent discipline. And a great display for the wonderful game we call rugby. St Bernard scrum. Van Ooyen feeds. He gives it out to Ernest. Ernest out to Holmes Rogers. Holmes Rogers goes on his own. He's wrapped up in a good tackle by Hato Paora College, and he has been penalised. Holmes Rogers has been penalised for not releasing the ball. That is an area of the game the officials have been really working hard on this season. There's the immediate release of the ball at the breakdown. Here's Hato Paora. Edwards gives it out to jersey 21 Ratana. 5 metres inside their own 22. Tuita just straight over the top. Well, that's a penalty any day of the week. It's a pleasure bringing you this game today, particularly with all the level 2 restrictions. And it's been fantastic to have the St. Bernards and the Hato Paora community watching this game today. It's always a pleasure bringing you first 15 rugby action. Seeing the stars of tomorrow playing for the pride in their college jersey. Hato Paora with the ball. Jersey 16 on the field, that is Taiho Kerr. And Kerr's been wrapped up in a good tackle. Hato Paora still in possession. Well, I think Jacob Laban might have just rushed up a bit too early there, but the referee has allowed play to continue, and that's a good passage of play there from Paulie Emmanuel, the captain of the side today. As mentioned at the start of the broadcast, has played for Cullinan College in Wanganui and also for Whangarei Boys High School. Van Ooyen out to Holmes Rogers. Holmes Rogers gets round one, he gets round two. Wrapped up a good tackle by Timata. Kulifa Leleasau is on the field for St. Bernards. Here's Lashakan Lolo, Callum Coyne, both have scored tries. There's Lashakan scored his third, he has. He chipped through the ball off his own kick. And he followed it up. And he has scored a hat-trick here today. Here's Lashakan Lolo, the year 13 from St. Bernard's College in the 15 jersey today. Score now is 36 points to 5 with the conversion to come. 31 and a half minutes gone in the second half. Hato Paora will be disappointed with the way in which the second part of the second half has gone for them, but they've not given up and they've fought hard. The St. Bernards have allowed an opportunity for some of their reserves to come on the field and experience some game time that they normally wouldn't get. Jersey 21 is on the field. That is Regan Shaw. His father, Russell Shaw, is an old boy of St. Bernard's College who coaches the under-15 team. Conversion is unsuccessful, so the score remains 36 points to 5. St. Bernard's in the lead over Hato Paora College. Play restarts. Little takes the restart, but he has knocked it on. So that's good pressure from Hato Paora. Unfortunately, referee Mariner is blowing up play and will come back for the Jono Little knock-on. So that will be a scrum. 5 metres outside St. Bernard's 22. Can Hato Paora score their second try to finish the game off with some confidence and a bit of a boost? This first 15 traditional was brought to you with Huddy Sports in partnership with the Sideline app. 36 points to 5 as Hato Paora through Emmanuel look to score their second try to finish this match off with some confidence. Hato Paora appealing for a penalty as St. Bernard's being a menace at the breakdown, and they have done so. Been caught for hands in the ruck. St Bernard's will, after this match, turn their attention to St Pat's Town on Saturday. Hato Paora will have their virtual semi-final against Horowhenua Combined Schools. Hato Paora line out. Their line out has functioned very well. It's Wild Herbert with the take. Hato Paora centre field inside St Bernard's 22. Here's Winnie Tana. Winnie Tana manages to get round one, but St Bernard's penalised again as referee Mariner has reached into his pocket and John O'Little has been yellow carded. He's trying to plead his case, but referee Mariner's not having it, so St Bernard's will finish this match with a man down as John O'Little heads to the sin bin. Emmanuel with the ball. He taps it and Hato Paora go through their work. Here's Bennett. Bennett, he hasn't given up all game. He's kept going hard as anything. Marshall gives the ball out to Kerr. Kerr wrapped up in a Wanoa tackle. Hato Paora there still working hard. They want this second try. They want to finish this game with some confidence. The St Bernard's defence has managed to turn the ball over. Regan Shaw at the back. He gives it out to Lashikan Lolo. And Lolo kicks downfield and it's been bundled to touch. And that is full time. St Bernard's College have beaten Hato Paora 36 points to 5. And have won the trophy, having lost it last year to Hato Paora. Up there, 47 points to 24. St Bernard's, they'll be happy, still with some work-ons to do. But that's another W in their season, as they prepare now for St Pat's Town on Saturday. Hato Paora College, well, they will be disappointed they have lost this game, but they put up an excellent fight. And they'll be looking forward to heading back to their Manawatu competition, beating Horowhenua Combined Schools, and turning their attention to Manakura College, who they lost to earlier in the season, 20 points to 5. It's been a pleasure bringing you this coverage today on Huddy Sports and the Sideline app. I'm Brad Hudson. Thank you to my cameraman, Ben Malushnik. Ciao for now.